Our,
We're recording, and I'm going to stop sharing.
okay. All right. Well, welcome. Welcome to the team call. Thanks to everybody who's on live. And for those of you who are watching it after the fact, welcome also. It's our first team call of November, so that's sort of exciting. We get to do some recognition at the end and have a little celebration. In fact, I think we should do that at the beginning. What do you think, Myra?
Let's do it. I love that.
Okay. So we had an awesome month last month, and we had a lot of growth and a lot of wins within our team. So first, we had so many enrollments. We had tons of enrollments this month, or in October. Amanda Gould out in California had 10. Jerry Grimes in California had 9. Andrea Lowe in Oregon had 8. Juan Barrera in Texas had 8. Cruz Gonzalez in Texas had 7. And then Giovanni, I see you on here. Giovanni had 6. Yes, yay! Micah, Judith, Kim, and Giovanni all had 6. So, let's just give a little round of applause to them for awesome enrollments. Yay! Because we talk about enrollments, but we have to remember that those are people that they met with, they taught, they helped them see how essential oils can change their lives. So that's huge. You've helped them start that journey, and that's pretty amazing.
Sarah, why don't we ask Giovanni really fast to maybe share? I know that last week she shared, but maybe, Giovanni, would you mind just sharing with us what you did this month or what you've been doing? I know that you've paid for some different programs, and maybe some specifics on what you really loved about those programs to help. I know November is such a huge month with these 20% discount and all these kits. Do you mind sharing? Share.
Yeah. Okay. Well, my November is off to a slower start, but it's probably because I've been kind of focused on. I have a major event on Friday that I'm speaking at. I've been kind of preparing for it. But last month, I've been using the Essential Training Manual through Natural Wellness Tips, and it uses a lot of the Emerge training. It combines a lot of the Emerge training in one convenient little manual that leads you through getting appointments and what to say, what not to say, how to run the appointment once you get it, how to run a class, giving you the script of what to say. And then I was able to onboard my my new business partners with it really quickly. And all they have to do is just read from it. And of course you can adapt it as needed. But that's what I've been doing, and that's what's been working. And
can you give us an example, what you say? Can you off? I know that we should have probably given you a warning off the cuff. What do you say?
What do I say specifically, in an appointment, or what to get an appointment?
So let's do both, to get someone, because I think a lot of people have a hard time even getting the appointment. They feel uncomfortable even asking.
So as far as getting appointments, right now, since I've been doing oils for about a year, or a little over a year, I'm getting a lot of people asking me just in general about oils, or somebody saying, oh, she can help you with this. And when they contact me or I contact them, I say, so usually what I do is I set up a time where we can go over your health goals and concerns. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the company, about the essential oils and the kits. And then I basically ask them, is that something they would like to do? And if they say yes, then I say, great. I have, Tuesday and Thursday available. Which do you prefer? And so, but when people ask me specifically about products that they may have heard, for example, Deep Blue, I get that one a lot. I answer their question, but I don't go into a lot of detail about addressing it, because I don't want them to buy one product, because they're missing out when they don't get an entire kit, because it doesn't address the holistic of the entire person. So I briefly answer their question. I don't ignore them, but I don't go in a great deal of detail, because I want to really educate and serve them. And so I try to get the appointment. And that's basically what I've been doing, honestly.
Can I recap what you said about getting appointments? And then maybe you can say, because I do the same call on Mondays in Spanish, and I love you're at a different point than most of the people on my team that joined like after you did. And so you said some really important things. So the first thing is you've already been identified as the essential oil girl, right?
Yeah.
So that doesn't happen automatically. That takes time. And so I know for some people it can be a couple of months, for some people it can be a year. But if you're consistently not in an annoying, nagging, like, I sell oils, which is what I did at first. I was very annoying. Don't do what I did. Don't harass people. But if you're very cool about it and you're like, yeah, I sell oils, and yeah, you can get the oils from me. And people they get to the point where even if they're not ready to get the oils right away, like I have people now 3 years later signing up that weren't interested for the past 3 years. And I've got people that are turning into builders now. I have a builder that hit silver in 2 months who'd gone to a class 2 years ago, completely blew me off during the class, interrupted the whole class, chatted during the whole class. I really was just like, oh, I wish this woman would not be at this class because she's so weird. All right. And then a year later, she went to another class. And then at that point, she had a health issue with her son, a pretty serious health issue. He was in and out of the hospital with respiratory problems. And so then she paid attention. And so she started using the oils, and 8 months after that, she decided to do the business, hit premier in a month, and then hit silver in 2 months. And so that's not typical at all. But the reason I'm sharing that is because it can totally be done. And so you never know who's going to be the person. But for that girl, I was the essential oils girl because for 3 years, she knew that I was the essential oils girl. So be patient with it. Like I know several of you on the call are just starting out your businesses. You will, the fact that you're the first one in your area is great. Okay. It's okay that people right now are like, what is this oils thing? But as long as they keep seeing, there's a little bit of in the background, like, oh, she's the oils girl. When it becomes cool and everyone wants to know about it, they're going to go to you and they're going to see you as the expert. So I love that, Giovanni. The second day is when she gave options. She didn't talk forever about the oils at a get together. Like during the holidays, you're going to have lots of opportunities to meet up with family and friends. This is where I was really annoying, where I would like, I only have 1 day to see my cousin, so I'm going to tell her all about the oils. And then it got to the point where my sister and my mom were just so annoyed with me, like, please don't ruin our family get together, right? And they had a good point. And so you can always we've got technology, you can always do a call, right? Do a Zoom video call or Skype or whatever. Don't ruin your holiday party or your family gathering by talking about oils for 5 hours because your family's going to hate it. Okay. Don't make my mistake. Just say, I would love to talk to you about this. Let's set up a time. And in 30 minutes, just exactly what Giovanni said, which is a script from that girl, Tasha from Emerge. This is on, it's on my team page. The scripts are on there in the file section, and it's on Sarah's team page. The script on inviting and the script on exactly what you say in a one-on-one. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Like it's all there. So I encourage you to do that. And then the other thing that she said is she didn't go into a ton of detail because she didn't want to overwhelm them, but she didn't try to sell one product. So usually Deep Blue and Digestion are what people gravitate towards because they can tell right away this works. So maybe they can't tell On Guard work right away, even though it really is awesome. So try not to be so like, yeah, Deep Blue, or yeah, Digestion, or yeah, Breathe. Be like, yeah, it's part of the kit. It's part of the kit, and get them used to the idea of this comes in a kit. So that was awesome. Thank you, Giovanni. Now, so now the close. How do you get them to actually close, to say yes?
Once I go through all of the oils, I always make sure I tailor it to their needs. And if there's anything that's not in the kit specifically that will really address their need, I'll let them know, hey, there's a couple other items that I want to share with you. And then I'll delve into that. But you don't have to do that. You can set in another appointment too. Exactly do I say?
Yeah, what do you say to close the deal? What do you do?
So I basically say, so after I go through the oils, I say, so now let me tell you how to get these amazing oils in your home. And then I'll either start, depending on what their health issues are and their concerns are, either start with the Natural Solutions Kit, or I start with the other way around. I start with the lower price kit first, and then the higher price kit, because I remember from Tasha that they remember the second thing you say, the last thing you said, more so than the first. And so I reversed that because in the Essential Training Manual, it's the other way around. So either depending on their needs, I'll either start the home essentials of the natural solutions kit or the home essentials and the family essentials kit. But most of the time it's the family essentials and the home essentials kit. I go through that and then I sell myself on why they should work with me. And then I say, which do you prefer? And I just wait for them to answer.
So it sounds like you basically assume the sale. Like you're not like, hey, do you want it? It's like, of course you want it. I just explained to you why it's awesome. And this is why I would love to work with you. Or this is why it would be beneficial for you to work with me.
Right.
I love that. So I like that because I think that it makes a lot of sense. If you speak confidently about something, people are going to be attracted to you. If you hesitate or like, are you going to buy it from me? Well, it's not appealing. It's like, why would I buy it from you? Right. So I love that. Thank you, Giovanni.
Yes, thank you. Can you put a link in to the training? I know that you sent it to me a while ago, but would you in the chat box put a link to the training?
Sure.
Awesome. Thank you. Or the web page where they can buy the stuff to look at. So that's just an FYI, but thank you for sharing that so much, Giovanni. A couple of other, did you have something else?
Oh, no, I'm just trying to look up the link on my computer.
Okay, cool. A couple of other really big wins on our team this month. We had a new gold. Amy Culp out in California is a new gold. Woohoo! And Samantha Marcano, she's one of Myra's Latin leaders. She hit silver this month, or in October. So yay for them! Yay for Amy! And so that, of course, means we had 6 new premiers and 6 new elites. And you guys, if you can build yourself to premier and elite, you can build to diamond and blue diamond because it's just doing the same thing over and over. So really bravo to everyone who had wins in your business, whether you were recognized, whether I called your name or not. Bravo to everyone who'd had wins. So products, let's do some quick product training. The products of this month are Clove is the product of the month, and Siberian Fur is 10% off this month. So who wants to help teach? Who knows what we can do with Clove? You can type it in, or you can
I was going to do it, but if someone else can tell us what they used before, then I will fill in the gaps. So who's used it already?
Myra, I'm sorry. I did not know that you were doing that. It's okay.
I'm going to go for it. And then if someone else has other things that they've used it for, then jump in. But I love this part. Okay. So here's where I'm getting my information. If you don't have it already, I really encourage you. The Essential Life book is so worthwhile. And then if you don't have to have this one, I think you can download, but if you can get this book, it's wonderful. So the Essential Life book talks about the physical. This talks about the emotional. I love Clove because Clove is a product of the month. So as you know, if you order 125% PV or more before the 15th, you get it for free, right? It's the oil of victim mentality. So if you feel like, poor me, things never work out my way, or everyone has it in for me, or I can't believe all these horrible things always happen for me. If you feel kind of like you're stuck, you feel intimidated, you fear rejection, you feel defeated or dominated, if you just feel yucky and stuck, Clove will help you get out of that, okay? It's the oil of empowerment, of setting clear boundaries, of feeling protected, of feeling brave, feeling capable, proactive, and just feeling like you have integrity. I have one of my clients, she's a sweet, sweet girl. Her mom is in the final stages of cancer. And she told me that clove oil is just smelling amazing to her. So the other thing I wanted to share with you is things are going to change. An oil might smell one way to you one day and a different way a different day. So be open and use your intuition into what oil you need. Clove is not an oil I would have recommended for her. I would have probably recommended Console. But this is obviously the oil that she needs right now. She feels so vulnerable with everything that's happening with her mom being so young going through this. So that's clove oil emotionally. Now, if you're taking the continuing education classes and you join Saturday, Kelly's class on Saturday, you'll learn clove oil is the best most amazing, powerful antioxidant out there, okay? So it's basically the anti-aging oil. It fights free radicals. It helps keep you energized and healthy. Really great for liver support, really great for brain support, fantastic for thyroid support, good for immune support. That's why it's part of On Guard. Really, really good for your teeth. Okay, so I have a sweet tooth and I no longer eat candy, but I love dates. And what's happened to me sometimes, if I eat dates and I don't brush my teeth right away, I'll start feeling pain in my teeth. I had like 9 cavities that I had to get everything redone from when I was a kid. And I had very sensitive teeth. So between using the On Guard toothpaste, which has clove oil, and actually putting clove oil on my teeth whenever I do get that sensitivity, it really helps. I had a woman who came in here who'd had a root canal. She just came straight from, I can't believe she did this, but she came straight from the dentist's office. She had horrible pain, and we put clove oil with white fir along her jaw, diluted with coconut oil, and that helped a lot with that pain as well. So clove oil also helps with pain. That's everything I wanted to share. All right, so now Siberian fir. If you haven't tried Siberian fir, you need to try Siberian fir. It smells fantastic. Emotionally, it is the oil of perspective, okay? Aging and perspective. So this is really good for people that pine over the past, like, oh, I miss when my kids were little, or I miss when I lived at home, or I'm so sad that I'm not in college anymore. Whenever you feel like regret and you feel kind of stuck in the past, Siberian fir is good to help you live in the present moment. And it's kind of the oil of wisdom and peace. Like, be happy with where you are now. You can feel comforted. It's good for forgiveness. It's good for giving you perspective and for being adaptable and living in the present. So it's just a really nice oil. And, right now with Christmas coming, it's just a really nice winter oil. As far as physical, one of the girls on the call on Monday was saying her daughter had a horrible cough, like whooping cough, couldn't stop coughing all night. She tried everything. Normally I would have recommended eucalyptus, but using Siberian fir on her chest and sublingually made it stop right away, and completely, like, it'd been 2 days that she couldn't stop coughing, and it completely got rid of it. So Siberian fir is really great for cough. Also good for any joint pain or inflammation. Very, very good for bones, good for circulation, good for someone with low blood pressure, good for liver function. It's just an overall good cleansing, right? It's like, if you think of pine, right, anything that's a tree is very good for cleansing. And so in the latest daily protocol from Dr. Hill, he actually recommends sublingually using a drop of Siberian fir, a drop of copaiba, and a drop of frankincense. So that's one of those oils that you're going to want to incorporate. And it's a fir that you can drink, which is huge. That's one of the oils that you're going to want to incorporate into your daily routine. All right, that's it. I feel like a newscaster. Your turn, Sarah.
Okay, awesome. So don't forget, you can get clove for free with an order of 125 or more, and Siberian fir for 10% off. I love stocking up when they're all 10% off. So the business topic for today is enrolling. Remember, we're doing pipes. We've done preparing, inviting, presenting. This week we're talking about enrolling, and next week Myra's going to teach about supporting. So enrolling.
Wait, sorry. So quick question. Is Tasha going to be able to do? I know we talked about Tasha doing that training next week, or is that happening?
Yes. I'm sorry.
So let's announce that.
Yep. That's not okay. So next week, thank you. Next week, instead of doing our call on Tuesday, we're going to do it on Thursday, and because we're going to do an Emerge webinar. Basically, it's a webinar for our team about recruiting. So for those of you who are familiar with Emerge, it's basically a training program. It's a lot of what Giovanni talked about with how to present, how to talk to people, how to enroll. She gives very specific scripts. Anyway, she has a new program specifically about recruiting, and people are saying fabulous things about it. So she is going to teach us a webinar about recruiting. She's also going to share with us her program that she teaches about recruiting. But even if you don't sign up for the program, you're going to get a ton just from this webinar. So that's what we're planning to do for our team call next week. So I'll post links.
Yeah. Do we know the time yet? I know it's Thursday, but do we know the time?
Yes, it is at 7. It's at 8 o'clock Central.
Okay, perfect.
So I'll post a link to that in both groups. I thought that I got that email, but I just realized that I haven't. So anyway, I'll find it and I'll post it in our groups.
Awesome.
So let's talk about enrolling. So I teach the Emerge method, and that's what I'm going to share with you tonight. But of course, I have other experiences as well, so I'll blend it in. So once you've done your presenting, you have to close. You have to sell the kit, because that's what we're there for. Their life isn't going to change until you sell them the kit and they start using it. So when I get to that point, once I've done the presentation, I loop it back to the beginning. So usually in the beginning, I ask, like, what are your health goals? What do you want to change? Da, 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 da. So at the end, I loop it back around. I take it back to this big picture goal, and I say, so what are, I bring it back to the health goals that they want to address. So like, are you ready to change what you've been doing for your arthritis pain? Are you ready to, a phrase that's applicable to everyone that you can say that I like to use is, are you ready to change your healthcare? Right? Because most people come to the class because something isn't working. And so I bring it back to like, okay, remember how you're in pain? Remember how something isn't working? Are you ready to try something different? And so I'm bringing it back to that big picture. And most people at that point are like, yeah, And then I say, like Giovanni said, let me show you how to get started. And that's when I go through and I explain the kits. And before I share exactly, I'm going to share a little story. So a couple of weeks ago, I went to Sephora because I need a new foundation. And I go up to the sales associate and I was like, hey, can you recommend a foundation? I'm looking for something clean. I need like clean ingredients. I'm looking for something that's gonna minimize fine lines and wrinkles. And I gave him like this list. And he was like, yes, I have something. And he proceeds to give me like 10 different options. And I was and he like puts them all on my face and tells me about each one. And I was so irritated because I was like, I know you're trying to be helpful, but you're the expert and I gave you the list of what I want. So give me like 2 options. Tell me what's going to be the absolute best, right? So the moral of this story is, anyone? What's the moral?
You need to buy Beauty Counter from my friend. I'll hook you up.
I've tried Beauty Counter. I have mixed reviews on Beauty Counter. Some good, some mediocre. But anyway, the moral of this story is, don't overwhelm people with options. In this situation, you are the guy at Sephora. You are the expert to them. They don't care. I mean, they don't know if you've been using oils for 5 days or 5 years. You're the expert. And so typically what I do is I present, like Giovanni said, 2 kits. I present two kits. For me, most often it's going to be home essentials and family, what is it called now? Family essentials and home essentials. And so then it's easy. It's an easy choice. Do you want the big bottles or the small bottles? Right? And that makes it so simple for them. Of course, there's more, but people always want to be given the best recommendation. I'm going to give you another example today of something that I did. I had a friend who was asking me about oils for neuropathy. And I said, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a bunch of options and a bunch of recipes, and then I'm going to tell you what I would personally recommend. And so that way she knows, like, okay, I have all of these options to choose from, but if I don't want to filter through all of that, this is what the expert is recommending for me, right? So people are busy. They don't want too many options. So after you explain the kits, whatever 2 kits you think are going to be the best fit for them, then you just pop the question. So would you like to go ahead and order that today? Right? Easy. But I say easy, but for so many people, that's a very hard question. I don't know what the hang up is. I can't remember back to when I first started. I think that was a hard question for me to ask. It's not anymore. But a lot of people feel a block, like they don't want to ask. do you want to buy it? But you have to pop the question. Otherwise, you've wasted their time. You've wasted your time. You just ask. So would you like to go ahead and order that today? And some people say no. There are ways to, depending on their response, then you change where you go next. So you say, would you like to order that today? Okay, great. Would you like the big bottles or the small bottles? Boom, easy. Another way to ask it is, which kit best fits your needs, right? I think Giovanni said that or something similar to that. Yeah?
I said, which kit do you prefer?
Which kit do you prefer? There you go.
Prefer, and then
assume the sale.
Get that today.
Assume it because.
What did you say, Giovanni? What's the second part?
Are you ready to order today, or do you want to get that today? Something like that is what I say.
I love it because you both said today, right? It's not like you want to get that. No, it's today, right? You're giving a time.
Not in the future, but like right now.
Right now, let's do it.
Yeah, and then you just pull up your computer, or you write it down on the paper, you fill out their order, and the last thing to do before you walk away is you tell them, you build them up again, tell them all of the amazing things they're going to get. So what I typically say after that is, you are going to love your oils. Well, usually I say like, okay, it takes usually 4 to 7 days to get your oils, most of the time less than that. But give me a call when you get them. You are going to love your oils. And then I tell them about Oil Camp. I'm going to go ahead and add you to our Facebook group. This is something that we provide to our customers to help support them and educate them on how to use their oils. It's tons of fun. We give good tips and recipes. So look for that on Facebook, right? Just not too much info. I'll follow up with them later. You also want to schedule a lifestyle review. You can either do that at the appointment, or you can do that when they call you about the oils or when you check in with them. And that's it. And then just let them know about our team continuing education, the benefits that they get from joining our team. I'm going to send you this, this, and this. And this is because we love you and we know you're going to love your oils, right? And then you're done. You build them up. You tell them how much they're going to love it and how much you are there to support them. And that's it. Then you say, thank you. So do you have questions or thoughts about enrolling? Clear as mud?
I'm going to play the devil's advocate.
Yeah.
So what do you do when somebody says, well, I can't do it today?
Okay.
But
I say,
I really want it.
I'll usually ask a little bit more. Like, oftentimes people will offer why they can't do it today. They'll say like, oh, it's just a little too expensive or whatever. And so I'll say, okay, well, there are other kits that might be a good fit for you today. Or, if you want me to check up with you in about 2 weeks, after payday or whatever, like I can follow back with you. So usually I'll present options on what to do. I've had a lot of that lately, especially.
Me too. I had that a month. I think I had like 3 or 4 people, and I followed up. At least 2 of them did order, but I think it's just, situational, especially for our area with Harvey and people trying to recover.
Giovanni, I try to get them to refer people to me and get oils for free or do a class. I'll be like, okay, if it's a budget issue, let's figure out how you can get these oils for free. Let's set up a class, right? Invite some friends, invite them to a class that I'm already having, and that way you can get some oils for free, right? And then and also you need to know what I've discovered. There's just certain kind of people, and Tasha teaches this. There's like people that are gonna buy no matter what you say. You could stumble all over yourself, but they're gonna buy, right? And then there's gonna be people that no matter what are not gonna buy because they just have whatever reason. It has nothing to do with you. And so we also need to know how to tell those people apart. And the more you do this, the more you get a sense of what kind of person they are. And then, some people you're just going to have to move on, right? So move on isn't always my initial reaction, but there's some people that I've just got, that's like, I don't want
After following up for like 3 months, every 2 weeks for 3 months, and they're like, oh, but this, and you're like, done.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. No, but what I've done though is that they say I want to get it later, or they say maybe in like 2 weeks. I said we find a date that day, and we both. I put it in my phone. I said, okay, I'm gonna call you on such day,
What some of
and
my Venezuelan girls have done is they fill out the form and they have it all ready, and they're like, okay, I'll process it for you this day, and I'll call you to remind you I'm processing it. So that's
I did that once. It may have just been a fluke, but one lady on the day of, I was letting her know I was about to process it, and she was like, no, don't process it yet. I had some other things come up. And then I was like, okay, when do you want me to process it? And then she was like, I'll let you know. And that never came.
yeah.
So
And like I said, when you aren't closing, there could be a couple of things. I just had this conversation yesterday too. We're having the same conversations. So we're not closing. It can be one of two things. I don't know if you're going to talk about this, Sarah, the things that you have to measure, your 3 numbers that you have to keep track of.
No, not. I wasn't planning on that today.
Do I do another day? Do I want me to just really quickly?
Let's. I mean, it's our time's up, but
Yeah. Okay. So we'll do it another time. But
super quick.
really quickly, I'm gonna just a couple of things that I want to highlight that Sarah mentioned.
We'll give you more detail later.
Because this is scary for some people, and I hadn't realized it anymore because I've been doing it for a while. But it was scary for me at first too. But 2 different people have said this to me in the past 2 days. So because there's a lot of newbies on here, I'm going to share it with you just because I feel like you might be going through this. Sarah said, you are the expert. And for someone who's been using oils for a month, that can sound very scary, especially if you're a doctor, hello, right? Or if you're someone that's used to being the expert, it can be like, wait, I'm not the expert, right? And so you're the expert, but it's like, consider more yourself like you're someone that knows where to go to the expert. This is the expert, okay? You're the expert in the fact that you know that they work because you've used them on yourself and on your family, right? And so you know more than they know. And you know that even though you may not know the exact solution for them, there's something in here that will help them. And that's enough. So you don't need to say that you're the expert because you're not, but you know more than they do, right? And so they're looking to you because you know more than they do. The other thing that's awesome that you guys really, you're so blessed that Sarah put together this oil camp. When I started, there was no oil camp. There was no continuing education. It was like to give support. It was all on each of us. And that was so much work, okay? Now it's so easy. We have this great system. You can just plug them in. There are great videos, all of these other people on our team. We have these calls. We didn't have ongoing calls. We have the continuing education, which is fantastic. It's a cross-team effort. So you, just like Giovanni said, hey, this is why you want to work with me. You can say, not only do you get to work with me, you get to work with an awesome team that cheers you on every Tuesday, right? And so they are like, this is a community. It's a really amazing community. And so that's another thing that you're offering to them. It's not like going to Whole Foods and buying an oil that, first of all, they don't know what to do with it. Secondly, they can't drink it, so who knows what all's in it. But thirdly, they have a support system. So those were and then just the other thing that I wanted to say, we call it wellness consult. So I think Sarah referred to it as living.
Lifestyle overview. Same thing.
Lifestyle overview. So that's the same thing. Lifestyle overview and wellness consult are the exact same thing. And then the last thing is that if you don't actually offer, if you spend all this time sharing and putting oils on people and talking about the oils, but you don't actually have a sales conversation, which means letting them know, hey, you can get it from me and I can show you how to get it at the best price. Like I want to help you get them that's what I say. I want to help you get them at the best price because I want you to get a great deal, right? And so people love a great deal. They're like, oh, you're on my side. You're trying to help me get a great deal. And I make a point of showing them, look, I'm going to do the shipping that's the cheaper shipping option for you. And so I show them I'm helping you save money. But if you don't actually let them know that they can get the oils from you, it could backfire because you could have basically done someone else's work for them. So there was a woman, she's not on my team, but at convention, we were eating, she was in my lunch group, and she was sharing how she'd been talking about oils with a friend at church for, I don't know, months. And then one day the friend shows up super excited. She's like, yeah, I started, look, I got my oils. And she's like, what do you mean you got your oils? Who'd you get them from? And she's like, oh, I got them from this other woman. I went to class and she's like, but I've been talking to you about oils for 6 months. And she's like, oh, you saw them? She had no idea that this woman sold oils because she never said, I sell oil. She said, I'm an oil educator. So your guys are not oil educators, okay? You guys sell oils, and it's a very wonderful, proud thing to do. It's great. You provide someone with something that's amazing. It's going to help them. You sell natural medicine. Own it, okay? Because I do not want to hear, oh, my friend, I talked to her for 3 weeks, and then she signed up with this other girl. I felt so bad for her. Anyway, that was my little. Okay, Sarah, you want to close it up with the things that are on discount, and then the pipe is back. Here, I'm going to share my screen too.
Yes. Okay. Reminders. So yes, Copaiba is back. Yay. It's one per account per month. Kits, of course, are 20% off this month. Don't forget about that. That's awesome. So like anyone that if you did Spoil Yourself campaign, anyone that did not enroll, follow up with them again this month and let them know 20% off. That's huge. This never happens. Also, just keep in mind that November and December, this is the busiest quarter. This is the most productive sales quarter of the year. So we need to take advantage of that. doTERRA is going to do awesome promos. Last year in December, they did, let's see, there's frankincense promotion, which is a 200 promotion in December. They did re-enrollment.
Do you want to let them know what that is? We've got some newbies. They may not know. So
if you order a 200-point order, you get frankincense for free. Every year for the past 6 years, they've been doing that. I'd be surprised if they didn't. So just something to think about. Also last December, they did a re-enrollment. So this is for people who you had enrolled but haven't ordered in a long time, 6 months or a year or something. And then what was the other thing that I wrote it down on another thing.
So November last year, Thanksgiving, they did
BOGOs. That's right.
Yeah. So that's huge.
Yes. The point of us telling you this is think about a plan. And Myra and I are going to be rolling out some team-wide strategies that we can use. We'll do some of the legwork for you so you can just implement it. We were talking about either a team tech splits or like an online shopping experience for the holidays. We'll keep you posted, but be thinking, what can I do? What do my customers need? What is going on in my business? How can I make the most of these next 2 months? Because they are the months to sell. So yeah, that's it. We're going to do awesome things in the next couple of months. So yeah, go team.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah. And just remember when you're talking to people, because I think this is another thing that people struggle with, and I did as well with, oh, I'm selling and making money off of you. And so some people have the mentality of win-lose, right? So someone wins, someone loses. So if I sell and I make money, therefore I took advantage of you and you lost, right? And so what I would encourage you to think about is, who do you want to help? And start thinking in terms of win-win, right? So this person is going to have better health. They're going to maybe sleep better. They're going to have more energy. They're going to have less stress. So many people in the fall and the winter with the holidays, it's so stressful for some people. Some people tend to get depression, suicide rates go up. Like, this is a tough time of the year for a lot of people. So you can really make a difference in people's lives. You can make the holidays actually enjoyable for people, right? And so when you're talking to them, I encourage you to think about, like, go to the side of your brain that isn't your analytical side. Go to the right side of your brain and think with your heart and think about, how can I help you and bless you? And then when comes time to actually sign them up, then you can think with the left brain of, okay, well, what's the best kit? But I encourage you to really think of it as win-win. Like, we're both benefiting. You're benefiting with your health, and I'm benefiting with growing my business. And the more I grow my business, the more I can go and bless other people. That's my only little comment on that. Does anyone have any questions or comments before we say goodbye? Nope. All right. Thank you so much for logging on live. It was so good seeing your happy faces. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, and we'll see you next Thursday. Bye. Thank you. Thanks, Sarah.